All right, we'll see if it holds up. If it doesn't, fuck it. All right, let's go.
Let's do it. What is up, everybody? What is up? FightHype Live. Once again, back at it, this time from the office at headquarters in Las Vegas, Nevada, watching at home on ESPN for Shakur Stevenson versus Robson Conceicao. Was supposed to be a unified title defense, but the unified titles are still on the line for the challenger Conceicao. But right now, we're right into the end of round one of Keyshawn Davis, one of the best young prospects in boxing, one of America's brightest prospects. And he's finishing up one of the tougher rounds he's been in as a pro against Omar Tienda. This was a close round. Down goes Tienda here at the end of the round, but it was not on a slip. The ref rules this a slip, not a knockdown. And competitive first round for Keyshawn. He got touched up a little bit there. Ate a couple jabs. Tienda let his hands go in combination on the inside. Tough guy from Mexico, letting his hands go on the inside. And Keyshawn got touched up a little bit. So competitive first round, but Keyshawn is a patient guy, a guy that likes to take his time early in the fight, and then once he finds his rhythm and steps on the pedal, he starts to put together more and more combinations and more offense as the fight goes on. And once he starts to peak offensively, it's really fun to watch. So competitive round one. But thank you guys, as always, for joining. Looks like we got about 25 people early on to start. Now it's down to 23. 2 of you weren't impressed. But let's see here. How much will Shakur lose from his purse for missing weight? I know that answer was already answered. I know it's over 50K because Conceicao was originally slated to make 250,000, and now his purse is reported to be a little over 300,000. And then and the commission received 20K from Shakur as a fine for being 1.5 pound overweight. So, but back to the action now for Keyshawn. Keyshawn getting backed up. 3-punch combination from Tienda, not the prettiest stuff, but Keyshawn tagging Tienda with a right hand coming in. Now Keyshawn steps forward with a nice jab to the body that sets up a right hand up top. Left hook lands on the gloves, but the right hand got through after it for Keyshawn right after that too. Good combination by Keyshawn to get the offense going here in round two. Keyshawn showing a nice jab to the body too. In about 30 seconds in, now they tie up. But Keyshawn giving as good as he gets on the inside in the clinch there. And now they break apart. Keyshawn back in the center of the ring, off the jab, double jab, right hand, left hook. Tienda getting his hands up, but some of those shots getting in. Tienda with 30 professional fights. Keyshawn very, very early in his career. Just 5 fights so far. Nice double left hook for Keyshawn. Keyshawn, a good body puncher, has a nice left hook to the body. Had a beautiful highlight reel knockout to the body earlier this year on that Stevenson versus Valdez undercard. Or no, excuse me, from Madison Square Garden. I think it may have been late last year or earlier this year. He did have a spectacular performance his last outing on the Stevenson Valdez card. And then he had to miss some time because of COVID. Nice jab to the body by Keyshawn. That jab to the body that Floyd Mayweather was known for and other fighters do from America to the body. And that was a nice one by Keyshawn. Halfway through the second now. Keyshawn with the lead right. Tienda getting his head underneath and tries to, bounce up with his feet to taunt a little bit. And he comes forward in combination. But Keyshawn with good defense gets away from those combinations. And now the ref breaks him after that clinch. Keyshawn, center of the ring, getting 4 straight back. But walks Tienda right into a straight right hand and then he invests to the body right after it. Tienda getting his hands up to block after that. But yeah, Keyshawn's walked Tienda into a couple right hands this round and nice combinations to the body, good jab. Still working on, not being backed up in a straight line and getting comfortable with a guy like Tienda, with his aggressiveness and kind of his bull rushes at times. And just good experience for the youngster Keyshawn here. Lead left hook by Keyshawn block, but then he invests to the body with the double left hook, and that left hook to the body is a thing of beauty for Keyshawn Davis in round two. 10 seconds left in the round. Good jab to the body by Keyshawn. Falls into the clinch, backs him up, and then good left hook by Tienda. when Keyshawn had to take a short left hook there near the bell. Keyshawn trying to get off to the body on the inside, and he ate a shot as he tried to reach down to the body with the right hand. But other than that, big round for Keyshawn Davis. Definitely was in control that round. Couple of good spurts of combinations. Nice jab to the body, and walked Tienda into a couple right hands there. So, you know, as we expect from Keyshawn every time out, he looked good there in round 2. After what was a competitive round 1. And he did wear a left hook there from Tienda in the last 10 seconds. But, yeah, still a good round for Keyshawn Davis. Let's see. Hey, guys, who do you think Shakur will fight first at 135? I don't think oh, you're like 30 seconds behind. Someone said, well, let me see if maybe I can. Okay, I think I'm on point now. It says I'm live, so we're good. But who do I think Shakur will fight first? Well, I mean, I don't think he's going to get Lomachenko or Devin Haney. And unfortunately for him, coughing up the belts on the scales, it doesn't launch him into his higher ranking to start his campaign at 35. So I think they're gonna Top Rank will put him in, with a solid top 10-ish guy at lightweight to get his feet wet. And in the meantime, Haney, who I think will beat Kambosos in October, he'll fight Lomachenko, and then Top Rank will kind of move from there. I think if Lomachenko wins that fight, then they're just going to make Shakur versus Lomachenko at 35. But if Haney wins, I don't know if Top Rank will want to make that fight at 35, and I don't know if at that point, after all that time has elapsed, if Haney will still be able to make 135. After a Lomachenko fight, Devin might be out of there. He might move up to 140 or go elsewhere promotional-wise, or maybe Top Rank thinks they could, at that point, that fight's worth a lot of money, and that's a pay-per-view fight. So, but I think Shakur isn't going to go straight to a big fight at 35 just yet. I think Top Rank will put him in there with a solid top 10-ish guy, while Haney and Lomachenko handle business. So, but a minute into round 3, good left hook to the body just now by Keyshawn, and a right uppercut on the inside. In that first minute, Keyshawn fighting a lot on the outside. Nice right hand. He shoots over the top of Tienda's jab as Tienda comes in. Tienda trying to get rough in the clinch, but Keyshawn wise in the clinch, smothering his shots, not letting anything really get through, and showing some good strength at 135. Nice double jab, sets up a right hand around the guard for Keyshawn Davis. Tienda trying to keep that high guard up, but Keyshawn pelted him with a double jab to set up that right hand that swept around the guard. Nice stuff for Keyshawn. Now a bum rush into the corner for Tienda, and Keyshawn looks at the ref like, hey, this guy's getting rough. But Tienda doing that because he's outgunned in skill and athleticism and talent tonight, so he's going to have to do things like get rough, and that's good experience for Keyshawn. About a minute left in the third now. Keyshawn fighting with his left hand at his waist, and he shoots a beautiful up jab to the body that sets up 4 or 5 punches to the body behind it, using the hooks from the left and the right hand there. Nice shoe shining from Keyshawn. Keyshawn taking little half steps back now. They trade jabs. Keyshawn ate a jab there. Keyshawn inching back, shoots a jab and a right hook off the jab, and then he steps off to his right. Good lateral movement there. Now he steps off to his left, switching directly. He eats a jab and some good body shots for Omar Tienda there. Keyshawn moving back. Tienda tries to get to the body, and they fall in the clinch. Tienda getting rough in the clinch. Good rough customer for young Keyshawn Davis to get this pro experience here. Not a kind of style you're going to see in the amateurs by any means from Omar Tienda from Mexico. 25-5. Keyshawn reaching with a right hand to the body, has the athleticism to pull back and get away from the counter shot. Tienda trying to time them, but another good round for Keyshawn. First round was competitive. Keyshawn's won the second and third. CompuBox had him winning the first clearly. I didn't see it as quite as one-sided as CompuBox saw it in the first. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Haney's scared of Shakur. Loma is too old to beat Devin. You remember when Aram thought Lomachenko could beat Pacquiao? He actually wanted to make that fight. Yeah, and I think Aram thinks that Lomachenko will beat Haney. And I think a lot of people in boxing think Lomachenko will beat Haney. But I don't personally see that. For me, it's not that difficult to pick Haney in this matchup. He's about 10 years younger. He's 2 weight classes naturally bigger. He's the champion with some momentum right now. You know, he's ascending, and Lomachenko looked red hot against Nakatani and then kind of came back to earth against Richard Comey, even though he dominated him every round. But he didn't have that killer instinct. He had Comey hurt in the 7th and let him off the hook. But I just think Haney's going to win that fight if and when it happens. But it remains to be seen. Lomachenko, for this era, has been a great fighter. You know, has been an elite guy for a long time. So, but I think, you know, those little... He has T-Rex-like arms compared to Haney at this point, and Haney's going to be a welterweight one day. He started at featherweight. I just think that length and jab and everything of Haney is going to be an issue for Lomachenko, but that's down the line. You know, first things first is Kambosos, and then Lomachenko is in against a solid guy in Jermaine Ortiz. But if Lomachenko is himself, you know, who knows? He might make a good guy like Jermaine Ortiz look like the Jason Sosa fight. Double left hook for Keyshawn, and down goes Omar Tienda. But the ref doesn't call it a knockdown. But that was a bad call by the ref. That double, and Keyshawn's been throwing a beautiful double left hook. He throws the left hook to the head, and then if the guy has his hands up, he digs to the body right after it with the left hook. It's a beautiful double left hook he's throwing. Beautiful right hand by Keyshawn, and I think Tienda, he felt that one and is hiding it in the clinch good. Tienda keeping his hands up, but Keyshawn snuck a hard right hand arrow through the center of the guard there. That was a beautiful shot. I think Tienda is actually putting on a good poker face, but I think he's more hurt than people might realize. Good combination, and Keyshawn finishing a combination beautifully with a left hook to the body there. Now he gets back straight up into the corner, but he spins his way out. Tienda taunting Keyshawn for wisely spinning out of the corner, but Keyshawn starting to hit him with some heavy shots here in the 4th. Little over a minute left in the 4th. Keyshawn, like I said, once he gets rolling offensively, he looks good. Now, look, Tienda landing a left hand and then gets rough again with Keyshawn in the clinch and throws him to the ground, and the ref is telling him, I'm having enough of this shit. I'm going to deduct a point if you keep this up. And that's that for the warning. 50 seconds left. Nice jab for Keyshawn, sets up a straight right to the body. Nice short inside right hand by Keyshawn in the clinch, getting rough. Good left uppercut. Keyshawn walks Tienda into it as Tienda tries to come in with his jab. Double jab, triple jab by Keyshawn. Pelting him with it, spins out to his left. Nice pivots by Keyshawn. Starting not to move back in straight back lines like he did in the first round or two. Now he's starting to pivot off of Tienda's pressure. And that's you know, growing before your eyes. Experience, getting into the rhythm of the fight as well. Good right hand by Keyshawn. Walked Tienda into it. Tienda walking into some dangerous shots. You know, doing the macho thing, making faces and whatnot, but he's starting to wear some heavy shots and walk into some dangerous punches from some dangerous angles from Keyshawn. Big 4th round for Keyshawn Davis. Fun to watch right now, those last 2 rounds. All-seeing eye. Thank you, brother, thank you, brother. I didn't know Shakur's opponent beat Loma. Yeah, in the amateurs, that's right. But Conceicao, you know, and against Valdez, that gold medal kind of style showed because he was dynamite early. But then sometimes, like an Olympian that doesn't get it done at the next level, a gold medalist that doesn't get it done at the next level, he peaked after about 4 or 5 rounds and let that fight get away from him. Can't let that happen with Stevenson tonight. James DeGale was, you know, even though he had some really good success in the pros, but he got off to the hot start with Badu Jack, dropped him in the first round. But James DeGale would fade in the second half of fights. But for 3 or 4 rounds, nobody was better than James DeGale. You know, that gold medal winning style that doesn't always translate all the way to the pros. Although, you know, like I said, DeGale had some good success. But speaking of guys with big success in the amateurs, Keyshawn Davis back in it in the 5th round. Had the most success for the United States, along with a few others like Duke Reagan that came away with silver medals. And Richard Torres, who gave us our best Olympic team since Andre Ward got a gold almost 20 years ago. And yeah, Keyshawn's starting to walk Tienda into some beautiful shots here and spinning off and pivoting it off, not going back in straight lines like he did earlier in the fight. And Tienda is finding the mark less and less, and Keyshawn is finding the mark more and more. Max Kellerman, one of his phrases is class tells over time, and that's what's happening right now. Now Keyshawn getting bull rushed into the ropes, but not getting touched with anything, and then clinching, and then turning now back into the center of the ring. Minute into the 5th. Let's see if Keyshawn gets the offense going now after getting put on his heels a little bit in this first minute, but doing a good job defensively. Keyshawn pushing off his straight right hand drops Tienda. Like I said, he was starting to walk into those shots, and there it is. He walks into that straight right hand. Tienda looks at the ref. He's he's making doing the macho act, but his legs will not hold up to taking clean power shots and walking into clean shots like that much longer. Right hand by Keyshawn, left hook, right hand, left hook. He's battering his head around. Is Keyshawn Davis. Tienda just covering up on the ropes, and that's it. He protests to the ref, but he was not returning fire. And you know what's going to happen if you lay on the ropes and you let the guy tee off and he's knocking your head up and in 2 or 3 different directions and you don't return fire, the ref's going to stop it. And that's what happened. A 5th round TKO for Keyshawn. Living up to the hype coming out of the Olympics. That's all he's done since becoming a pro. And that's what he does tonight. Continues to live up to the hype. Continues to be a guy that is on the trajectory of absolutely challenging the elite at 135 and 140. Fun to watch, becoming increasingly more fun to watch in 2022. He's been more fun to watch this year than he was. He was getting his feet wet as a pro, taking his time. His temperament is to be intelligent and patient, but some of his gifts lend himself to being a more active and entertaining fighter. And so he's finding himself and bringing along all those skills that made him a silver medalist and getting more exciting and really rounding into one of the very most exciting prospects in boxing, just as was expected coming out of the Olympics. Keyshawn's living up to the hype thus far, very early in his career, and is about a half dozen, 4 to 6 fights or so away from getting ready to fight for kind of a title contention, getting ready to really be in the title mix. He's about a half dozen fights away. And with the way Top Rank has you moving early in your career, that will only take about 18 to 24 months. It'll take about 24 months for him to get, those half dozen fights. And then he should be seasoned and ready to fight at the world title level. And then after fighting at the world title level, vacant WBO or a title holder here or there, then you're ready for the elite level. And that's how they moved Shakur along. Shakur, after about a dozen fights, fought Joet Gonzalez. Then they continued. Then they brought him up with a Jamel Herring fight, and then graduation came against Valdez, and he's a seasoned product now, and you can match him against anybody you want. And so that's what Keyshawn needs. He'll need that seasoning, and he'll get it. So a performance for Keyshawn tonight. It was fun to watch. Let's see here. Let's see. The sound is so much better this time. Joel Crane says the sound is so much. Yeah, man. I mean, there's not 20,000 people sitting around me. Thank goodness this time. So from the office, this is ideal. But next time we're live in the arena, we've gotten it right a lot more times than not. At the arena, like 95% of the time, but that was a rough night, admittedly. But we'll get it right in the arena next time out. But thankfully tonight, we're chilling in the office. Audio's great. Stream is great. And just happy you guys are here rocking with us. James Perkins, appreciate you, brother. Thank you. 91684 says Keyshawn needs more footwork. I'd like you can go ahead and respond in the chat. What do you mean? I'm not disagreeing. At this stage, you got to keep getting better at everything, more handwork, footwork, everything. But I thought he showed good footwork as the fight went on. He, like I kept mentioning, he less and less he went back in straight lines, and he showed the ability to pivot off. And a couple times he had a couple of beautiful pivots to the right and to the left. And then at times, he got bull rushed straight into the ropes, forced to move back into a straight line. But I saw him adjusting and learning and improving as the fight went on early into the fight. This didn't take 6. He didn't go 8 tonight. He got this guy with 30 professional fights out of there in 5, and I saw improvement in his footwork as the fight went on. So yeah, I mean, obviously he's got to keep improving everywhere in his game as a fighter, but I'm not that. The footwork doesn't jump out to me as some type of Achilles heel early, you know. So I'm curious what you meant. B. Ortiz, who won? Keyshawn Davis, TKO in the 5th. So while we got, you know, we're gonna probably let's see on the replay here. So here's a replay of the KO. High guard from Tienda, and he kept coming forward in high guard, trying to let that jab go, and Keyshawn was just timing it, and nice and loose too. Keyshawn shooting it from the chest, you know, tagging him coming in, nice and loose, not really overcommitting to it, not looking like he's fully sitting down on it like Gabe Rosado did to Beck the Bully, where he is just sitting on it, waiting to launch it. Keyshawn threw it, just backed up, threw it nice and loose, and boom, dropped him. And then when the guy got up, he tried to go back to that high guard, and Keyshawn knew how to sweep his punches around it. Nice, fast combination punching, good power, and he closed the show. So, but I like Keyshawn. I really like Keyshawn Davis, from the same hometown as the great Pernell Whitaker, who is one of the greatest 3 fighters that ever fought in this division. You know, off top at 35, I just always think Roberto Duran, Shane Mosley, and Pernell. You know, guys like Oscar and Floyd and Manny had pit stops at 35. Those guys kind of planted their flag there a little longer than those guys. So those are like 3 of the guys, I think. But anyways, Keyshawn's from the same hometown, fighting in the same division. Great personality, great smile, great disposition. Kid that could really become a star in the sport. So, you know, been fun to watch him early on. So hopefully Top Rank gets him. We're in September. So I think Top Rank should definitely get him in one more time. I know they like to do their December cards in the Garden, probably when they bring back Edgar Berlanga. Hopefully, Keyshawn was supposed to fight on a Berlanga card in June. Hopefully they can get him back. Maybe do a card with Xander Zayas and Berlanga in the Garden with Keyshawn as well. Or maybe they'll want Keyshawn on a separate card. But as long as they get Keyshawn in before the year is over, that would be great, along with Jared Anderson as well. So, but next up is the now former but still undefeated unified super featherweight champion Shakur Stevenson. Accomplished something very, very, you know, good in April 30th earlier this year when he beat Oscar Valdez at the MGM. I think it's really important. I still believe, even in this era of the 4-belt era, to unify and even if you don't become undisputed, but if you pretty much become, you know, you become what they call lineal, and you get everyone to agree, you became the man and you beat the other best fighter in that division. I think that counts for a lot. That's you know, almost equivalent to getting a Super Bowl ring in boxing. I kind of consider, you know, lineal champions or undisputed champions of a division, I equate them to a Super Bowl ring. So someone like, you know, Floyd and Manny would have multiple 6 or 7 Super Bowl rings, you know, however many lineal titles they won. And so Shakur kind of got his first ring earlier this year when he beat Valdez. He won the literal ring belt in the WBC and the WBO, but by everyone's accounts, he's proven himself as the top dog at 130. And it looks like that you know, era is over. But you know, a shame that he couldn't make weight to officially defend the WBC belt and the lineal title. But as it stands, if he doesn't lose tonight, he'll have left 130 undefeated and unified, and you know, check that box. So now on to 35, and I guess a lot of people are excited that he missed weight because they all want to see the fights at 135 pounds anyways. It's kind of funny because he did an interview with my man Hans here on FightHype, and Hans out there in New York interviewed, well, he's in Jersey this week, but he interviewed Shakur, and Shakur said he had a special announcement. He was waiting until after the fight, and I guess the announcement got spoiled early by him not making weight. It was said that he's going to be a lightweight. So that's where we're at, and everybody apparently was kind of happy to hear it. But someone asked me in the beginning of our stream, who do I think Shakur is going to get matched up with? he's not going to get Haney or Lomachenko off the bat. Top Rank will put him in there with a good, solid guy to get his feet wet at 35. And in the meantime, I think they'll look to match Haney and Lomachenko. And if Loma pulls that off, then I think they'd make Loma and Shakur. But if Haney wins, and I expect him to win, I don't know if Top Rank wants to make that fight at 35. I don't know if Devin will even be able to make 135 pounds a year from now. And, we'll see. But so I guess that would mean if Haney were to beat Lomachenko, should he beat Kambosos, and I think most of us expect that to happen too, then maybe, Shakur would be left behind at 35 to collect the titles that Devin would vacate. Or hopefully if Devin is still a healthy lightweight, him and Shakur could fight in one of the best chess matches that could be made. And some people, cynics, would say, well, wouldn't that be too much of a chess match potentially to be an exciting pay-per-view fight? But if you go back and watch their sparring, it was more. It had more exchanges than you might think you're going to get. And also, I think Devin figured out in that sparring session that he was better off not boxing with Shakur completely and taking the fight to him and imposing his size. Devin's a naturally bigger guy. So Devin might fight in that style. We're all used to seeing Devin be the boxer, but you might actually see Devin come forward on the front foot if he ever fights Shakur. And sometimes, I remember this was a saying a lot of old-timers, a lot of the wise men in boxing and the trainers used to say that sometimes when you put a boxer against a boxer, you get a surprisingly entertaining fight. Sometimes two counterpunchers makes a good fight. Sometimes it doesn't, but we'll see. So we'll see where Shakur goes from here. But first things first, Robson Conceicao. What chance do you give him, chat? And I guess you could say there's a couple of ingredients tonight in play for Shakur to not be spectacular. He missed weight. It's a homecoming. Sometimes Danny Garcia against Mauricio Herrera. J-Rock got upset by Jason Rosario at home. Sometimes these homecoming fights go a little south, and having all the attention at home and all the people that you had to get tickets for and all that kind of stuff throws you off a little bit. But Shakur, wouldn't be surprised to see him dominate and just look spectacular at the same time. Just looking forward to seeing what we get as we're waiting for the telecast to kick off with the fight. Stevenson currently rated number 9 pound for pound on the ESPN list. So, what you got, chat? Daniela Sosa, Vamos, Robson Conceicao. Boxing takes so long between these fights. Yes, it can. Yeah, no, it always has, actually. Miss Joette says, no, Devin is definitely moving up after Loma. You think so? Yeah, I think that's a good call, Miss Joette. Yeah, so, I mean, I know some people, that probably disappoints some of the fans because they'd want to see the Shakur fight. But I know for a fact, just from covering him for so long at lightweight, that Haney sucks down to lightweight. Although he said he got a nutritionist, I believe, in his last fight. He had a much easier time making 135, but he's 5'9" in a big lightweight, and on fight week does look drawn in the face, sucking down to 135 pounds. So I wouldn't be surprised if he can only make it for one more fight after Kambosos and then have to go to 40. Oh, Shadorak Reigns, what about my question? Let me scroll up and see what you got. Question, I believe all punches behind the ear are illegal. Am I right? Yes. Yeah. All considered rabbit punches. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely right. Benjamin Watkins, what up, man? Been on the podcast a while. Yeah, I love the show, man. Everything gonna be good. Everything gonna be all right. Let's see. Crawford and Inoue, Usyk are the top fighters. That's how most people have it in the top 3 pound for pound right now. Yeah, and I think Spence comes in 4 for most people right now. Canelo at 5th, or Canelo at 4th and Spence at 5th. And I did my top 13 pound for pound. Who did I come up with? Let me. They're also called veteran tactics. Yes, when you hold that Bernard Hopkins special, little hold behind the head. The ref's standing right here. You hold them on this side. You do a little, hit them with the other It's the Bernard Hopkins special. And only Bernard made it look so pretty. And I'm sure some fighters back in the day, too, did it well. Muhammad Ali, when he fought Chuck Wepner, I'll never forget when he just punched downwards on the back of his head 18 times in a row to make a point to the ref because Chuck Wepner kept hitting Muhammad Ali on the back of the head. You know, the guy based for the Rocky movies. But that was hilarious. Muhammad Ali was comical in the ring with taunting and playing to the crowd in the middle of fights. And so, yeah, that Muhammad Ali guy was pretty good. But my Sean Donahue, big shout out from Australia. Love your content. Thank you, brother. Tariq Reed, OG Tariq from Philly. Salute to the one. What's up, Tariq? Thank you, man. Always supporting the channel. Shout out to Tariq. Happy to have you in the chat, man. Shout out to Philly, one of the great boxing cities in America, in the world. So thank you for joining us, man. Quest Equipment says Canelo, even with his loss, is top 3 pound for pound. You know, that was a thought that went through my head at first when he lost to Bivol too, because I seen all the fighters talking about like, see, now I'm number 1 pound for pound, and I didn't like that because it's like, well, now you feel you get there by default because he lost, but you know, even if that's true, you haven't gone through all the divisions Canelo has and fought in all the big fights Canelo has to get to that point, so. You know, don't puff your chest because he took an L. Get to the number 1 spot because you're accomplishing all these great things in all these divisions. But anyways, that was a thought I had too. You know, maybe Canelo still deserves top 3 pound for pound, but the Golovkin fight, for the time being, kind of certified that Canelo's in a slight decline right now. You know, still excellent, still a great fighter, but. Canelo, his hand speed took a hit in 2022. If you look at some of the overhand rights that Golovkin was able to step out of range from in that fight, and then some of the right hands as Canelo got fatigued after 4 or 5 rounds with Bivol, by his standards, they just lacked some of the speed and the snap that you're used to seeing from Canelo. That punch in particular stood out to me last Saturday when I was at the fight, and I said, "Huh, okay, so it wasn't just necessarily a bad night with Bivol, and it wasn't just necessarily the extra weight making Canelo sluggish, because the same guy I saw in the ring at T-Mobile in May against Bivol was the same guy I saw in the ring last Saturday in September against Golovkin, the 3rd time around. Being 7 pounds lighter in his natural weight didn't make him any quicker really than he was against Bivol. Didn't make him that much more active. It was just he was in the ring with Golovkin instead of Bivol for the most part, and had a little bit more motivation coming off a loss. But yeah, Canelo in 2022 took a step back from 2020 and 2021. I was really blessed to be in the front row ringside covering against Callum Smith, and that was peak Canelo. And I didn't quite see that Callum Smith, Caleb Plant, Canelo in 2022 in his 2 fights this year. Maybe he needs a rest. He was fighting more active than any other fighter in boxing. He got an injury. He hasn't been able to do as much road work because his knee injuries over the years. Maybe Canelo needs to skip the May-September schedule for next year and just come back in September and look rejuvenated. But if not, if this is the guy we're going to see from now on, the guy we saw in 2022, Canelo's lost a step or a half step, even though he's still excellent right now. Still elite, you know, still elite, but he's lost a step. Is the Stu capable? What do you think the odds would be for Canelo Benavidez if it happened in May? Let's see how David looks when he likely fights Uzcategui. Another blowout win likely for David coming up. But, I mean, you know, again, let's just get another look at David. It's tough to say. You know, Canelo, off name recognition and who he is, may still find himself as a favorite at the books. But I don't know, man. I think if it's real boxing savvy people, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Benavidez is a favorite if that fight happens next, or if it happens a fight or two down the road. I think Benavidez at this stage is the favorite. He's the more active fighter in terms of punches per round. I think he has a better jab than Canelo, a more natural thudding jab that he can shoot from the hip. He has a great up jab. So does Canelo. Canelo jabbed well with the jabber and Golovkin last Saturday, but I think David's jab is on another level from Golovkin right now. David works levels. He places hard body shots. He has great combinations. Okay, basically, guys, if David can wear a shot, if he's durable, if he can take it and not just dish it out, he's going to beat Canelo. And he's going to beat everybody at 168 to 175 pounds. He'll move up and he'll beat the Russians. He'll beat Bivol and Beterbiev if he can take it. If he's durable, if he can take it to the body and he can take it to the chin. I'm not even saying he has to be Marvin Hagler and Jake LaMotta. He has to have the greatest chin. But if he can take it, if he can take a shot, because his offense is defense sometimes, and he has better reflexes than people realize, then I don't see anybody beating David Benavidez at super middleweight and light heavyweight. You know, I really don't. But that's a big if. That's an if that just hasn't been answered yet. And also, even though I think he beats Caleb Plant, Plant will, if that fight happens, he presents an interesting style matchup for David's feet. That is one area David doesn't blow me away in. He doesn't have great feet, but he has great upper body. He actually has underrated upper body movement. He can catch. He has good reflexes. He doesn't get out of the way of every shot, but he gets out of the way of more than he gets credit for. And then throwing 60, 70, 80 punches around and a thudding jab that lands like a right hand, that offense is defense more than half the time for him. So that's how I see that. Let's see here. Benji the Pitbull, Plant will beat David B. I don't believe so. I think David, like Canelo, will get to him in the second half of that fight as Plant's legs will slow down. But Plant does present an interesting style matchup. Let's see how David deals with a good boxer, because Caleb Plant is definitely a good pure boxer at 168 pounds. Let's see how he deals with the feet of Caleb Plant. And I think Caleb brings an edge to the ring with the David Benavidez rivalry that he didn't with Canelo. It's different there. Canelo came around before Caleb. Caleb admitted early in his career he was a fan of Canelo. He watched Canelo fight in big fights as a young man. That's not the case with David. He doesn't have to be in awe of David. This guy who came up with him, who he's always felt he could beat. So I think Caleb brings a different confidence and edge into the ring with David than he did with Canelo. That said, I still favor David. Free Hoover said, thanks for asking the questions Canelo doesn't want to be asked. I had to, right? But maybe should have done it at a better time. Maybe should have let the champ enjoy his undisputed title victory and title defense and trilogy vindication. But you don't get a lot of cracks at Canelo, so I kind of just shot it there. And I'm happy some people liked it. At least the fans liked it. I do wish I do wish there was a way to convey to Canelo that, obviously there was no disrespect meant. And truthfully, as much as I want to see the David Benavidez fight, if Canelo never fights David Benavidez, he's already a cemented first ballot Hall of Famer. So it's not like, his whole life, everything rides on him taking this one fight. But I think that's the fight everybody's been wanting to see. I think even the Bivol fight, no one wanted to see Bivol. They wanted to see him take the Benavidez route. So that's still the route people want to see. You would think people, Canelo fans, are busting down the door for a Bivol rematch, because whether it's reasonable he could pull that off or not in a rematch, just the sting of, we want that back, we want that get back. You would think that would be the fight people want since he dropped the fight to Bivol, but no, it's still Benavidez. So I went ahead and asked. Do you think Heyman might get Charlo and GGG finally now that he's aged? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they'll make that fight now. Golovkin's going to expect a hell of a lot of money after making $20 million guaranteed against Canelo. Bob Arum wisely pointed that out to us on FightHype, again, with my man Hans, that it'll be hard to get Golovkin in a boxing ring because of the kind of money he's going to expect now after making $20 million. But I do know that PBC has liked that fight for a long time for Jamal. I do know that. I do know that's a fight for kind of many years now. PBC has wanted to secure for Jamal. It's just once Gennady took the 6-fight deal with DAZN in 2018, that kind of took the fight off the deal of their business plans. But I know that is a fight they've liked for Jamal. So it's a possibility. It's a big. I would say it's a very legitimate possibility if Jamal's going to stick around 160. If he's going to stick around 160, I think you got a legit shot of seeing Charlo and Golovkin. So, but if Charlo still wants a shot at Canelo Alvarez, he's got to go to 168. And I like that fight for Canelo next. I think Canelo coming off, all that time, and he shouldn't get right in there with Benavidez. He should fight Charlo, who's a 60-pounder, who's been off for 16, 17 months. I think that'd be a wiser fight for Canelo if he comes back in May. But here comes Shakur Stevenson now. It's main event time. Conceicao already in the ring. Stevenson, nice sold-out crowd, it looks like, in Newark, where the Nets used to play, where the Brooklyn Nets used to play back with, Devin Harris, late Deron Williams, Vince Carter, and all them used to play in that Izod Center in Newark. And Shakur Stevenson looks like he's at least sold out the lower bowl. Good crowd on hand as he comes to the ring. The former 3-time 2-division champion, former WBO featherweight champion, former unified and recognized lineal champion at super featherweight. Brick City, inscribed on the road. Brick City, of course, the nickname for Newark, the Bricks. Coming in with rapper Kevin Gates. Now this is the only time this is one of the very few times I come away upset with anything about Shakur's outing when he fights, is that he doesn't come out with Red Man. Oh, and the Puerto Rican flag for Shakur. Shakur representing some of his Puerto Rican heritage tonight, has a Puerto Rican flag in the ring along with Conceicao's Brazilian flag. But Shakur, he's got the Brick City inscribed, but he never comes out to Brick City's finest, Red Man. I know that's before Shakur's time. Shakur, born in 97, but he's got to at one time, for the old heads like myself, he's got to come out with some Red Man just one time to really make it official for the Brick City. All right, and we're set for some ring introductions now. Both fighters in the ring. Thank you guys as always for joining us on these lives. Chat, I'm checking out what you got to say throughout. Who's the rapper? I believe that's Kevin Gates. Bugsta, yep, got the Puerto Rican flag in the ring. Jonah said Canelo won't fight. David, get over it. Canelo won't fight another man. Well, that's fine. I am over it. If he never fights David, I'm still going to be in this office calling my fights. Canelo will still play golf, and you will still live your life, Don't get me wrong. But in the meantime, it was kind of a good question. Muddy Waters from Pulse XD. Yes, Muddy Waters. That's the best Red Man album. The best weed-smoking album there is. And maybe not the album. Shakur Stevenson, if he comes out to a Red Man song, should come out to The Goodness from Doc's the Name. Yeah, that one. The Goodness. Fight is set to start. Ring introductions now. Robson Conceicao, obviously the challenger, getting introduced first. Both of these guys with 18 professional fights. Conceicao, the 2016 gold medalist. Shakur, the 2016 silver medalist. Shakur 18-0, Robson 17-1. Almost identical KO percentages. Robson with 8 KOs in 18 fights. Shakur with 9 KOs in 18 fights. So neither fighter a one-punch knockout artist, but both good, both highly decorated amateurs. And Shakur, obviously one of the top 10 pound for pound in the game today. Robson's only lost, let it get away from him in another guy's hometown that lost to Valdez last September. So, all right, now Shakur getting introduced. Yeah, bookmakers say this goes the distance for sure. Juan Chavez, shout out to Bakersfield. Yes, sir. Good work from H-Town, home of DJ Screw. I love it. I love all the hip-hop references. Jonah says Shakur has a big future. Keep a lookout for me at the 2024 Olympics. Dwayne Wallace Jr. No doubt. Dwayne Wallace Jr., thanks for joining us, bro. Yep, Mark Chinook introducing Shakur. Interested to see what we see from Shakur tonight. Hoping we get a Jamel Herring type performance if he's able to make that happen. Conceicao is a bigger guy than some people realize at 130 pounds. They're live in Tucson last September. He looked a lot bigger than Oscar Valdez in the ring. So I'm curious to see, even though Shakur on the official scales is 1.5 pounds bigger, if here on fight night, Conceicao looks bigger than Shakur. He's a big guy that gets down to 130. All right. Shakur Stevenson looking, by his standards, maybe a little soft, a little full by his standards. Shakur gets a little bigger than you think in between fights. Yeah, not quite the same muscle definition we're used to seeing from Shakur like he had against Valdez tonight, but sometimes, a lot of times it doesn't matter, and you'll see guys in lesser fights do that. So here we go in round one. Stevenson starting with that high fundamental guard and then dropping the right hand at the waist at times and then picking it back up, alternating between those two stances. Conceicao getting with a jab to the body. Conceicao ate a jab early, but trying to get off a little early here, trying to get to the body of Stevenson, shooting 1-2s to the body here on the outside. Stevenson, staying in his shell, staying in his pocket, getting into his rhythm. He's not going to be sped up. He looks to dictate tempo, has a great lead hand, great positioning, extremely fundamentally sound fighter. Along with, I believe, Dimitri Bivol and Errol Spence, Shakur Stevenson, along with those two guys I mentioned, I think beat fighters off the fundamentals more than anybody else in the sport right now, those three guys. Shakur shooting a fast straight left hand just about 15 seconds ago, and then tries to sweep with the left hand. And Conceicao getting his right hand up to block it early, defensively responsible. Both fighters in the center of the ring, playing some chess here with the lead hand, southpaw versus orthodox. Now Shakur stepping in a little bit, range finding with his lead hand. Good defense as Conceicao tries to shoot straight punches to the body this round. Shakur rolling them off the elbows a lot. Shakur trying to lead hook there. Conceicao getting away from it. Conceicao trying to step in, but Shakur knows that distance. Now Shakur shoots a left. Oh, Conceicao lands a right as Shakur steps in with a left. Conceicao falling short to the body. Shakur trying to throw a heavy left hand. Good left hand lands for Shakur off the jab, but Conceicao coming back with a left hook. And Shakur, good fast exchange by both guys. Good timing by both guys. Not timing each other with combinations, but timing each other with single shots well, to where you almost need the slow-mo replay after that to see exactly who landed good. But it looks like Shakur got the better of either one. Conceicao, a little more active, but not accurate. Shakur trying to step in with a hard left hand to the body, but Conceicao using his feet to step out of range. Tries to shoot a right hand through the center, but Shakur knows how to take that step back to make it fall short. Now Shakur makes him land on the elbows to the body. Shakur stepping forward with a jab. 10 seconds left. A feel-out first round for Shakur Stevenson, but committing hard to some of those left hands. And would like to see on the replays there some of those single shot exchanges those two fighters had. Good timing on both of them. So I want to get another look here to see who landed clean. But Stevenson a little more accurate, not as busy obviously, but the more in control and comfortable fighter in round one. Conceicao trying to find range with his shots, largely inaccurate. So 10-9 Stevenson, but not a dominant round just yet for Shakur early on, more of a feel-out round. But he is committing hard to some of those left hands. And he's been doing that lately. Against Nakatia, that fight in the second half got dull, but he landed a number of single shot, pop shot, hard left hands against Nakatia. And Shakur's been, sitting on that shot more and more. Against Valdez, he did, he relied on that left hand a lot. He range fined with the lead hand, controlled Valdez with the lead hand, and then tagged him with the left. And the one time Valdez really tried to get overly aggressive, he got him with the check hook and dropped him in that fight, I believe in the 6th. So now here we go back in the second round for Shakur Stevenson. Stevenson coming on the front foot, tries to step in with a left hand there, and Conceicao ties him up. Stevenson trying to step in off the jab and step in with hard left hands to the body and to the head, sometimes sweeping it, sometimes shooting it down the pipe, more so sweeping it right now. And pulling straight back from shots and getting away from it, making Conceicao miss and whiffing with a big left hook there was Conceicao. Shakur pulled his head straight back off the shoulder roll, kind of like he did with Valdez, to make Valdez keep missing short with those lead right hands. Conceicao letting his hands go on the inside. Shakur, good defense. About a minute into the second, Shakur shooting a jab, but good defense by Conceicao tonight too. And he lets go of a right hand to the body and lands. Lands on the chest of Stevenson when he's trying to aim for the chin, but Stevenson making him fall short or fall on the elbows or on the chest. But Conceicao, staying focused, staying busy, and staying defensively responsible when Stevenson, who's not as active, comes back. But now Stevenson placing in a nice left hand as Conceicao kind of jumped into that one. Conceicao getting away from the right hook off the left hand after it, though. Now Conceicao shoots a straight right hand to the body. Shakur coming with a straight left up top, shoots a body shot, and Conceicao having a little bit of a reaction with his legs from that last left hand by Stevenson. Conceicao, not easy to find the range, missing and falling short and flailing with a lot of his punches. Now he tries to catch and shoot, but he eats the jab and misses the left hook right hand after eating the jab from Stevenson. He tried to catch and shoot there, but Stevenson too good defensively to get caught. About a minute left in the second. Good left hand to the body by Shakur Stevenson, and just tucks that chin behind the shoulder to get away from 3 shots after. Beautiful left hand to the body by Stevenson. Stevenson keep it beautiful, like with Shakur, not always firing that jab, but always touching and knowing where his man is with the distance. But he eats a right hand there, gets away from what's coming back. A little bit of a headbutt comes in. Conceicao tries to land a hard, sharp left hook, but he eats a straight left just off the mark with his own left hook, though. Conceicao shooting another left hook right hand, but good defense by Shakur, only showing half of that body in that southpaw stance. Shakur getting away from a 1-2 again. Conceicao getting off, being active, and Shakur not being nearly as active, but landing another hard left hand to the body and brings a right hand off of it to work his levels on that 2-punch combination. Shakur more accurate and just landing that hard left hand to the body. Definitely the best punch of the round. And Conceicao looks like got a little bit of blood coming from the left nostril. That's from one of those short left inside left hands when Conceicao tried to jump in. Conceicao jumping in many times, falling short, flailing with the right hand. Shakur just tucking that chin behind the... Can't do it justice with the way I do it, but Shakur very good defensively. Knowing where he is with that, not firing the jab tonight, but he knows where Conceicao is at all times. Great with range control and just placing a couple of hard left hands in the second to win it. Let's see here. James Ray, thank you, brother. Brandon. James Ray, yeah, we're about to head into the third round now. 2-zip Shakur, 20-18. Conceicao is winning this fight. I gave him the first 2 rounds. Says going Chinio. Well, Shakur hasn't been as. It looks like you're scoring on activity. So that's how you see the fight. But I think Shakur, more so in round 2 than round 1, he placed a couple of those hard left hands inside. Let's look at the replay here by ESPN. Touch jab. Oh, no, and Shakur did eat the left hook, but he landed a right hook after eating the left hook. But Conceicao did land a left hook on that replay. Shakur landed a straight left, and Conceicao returned fire. A good left hook just landed for Conceicao here in the third. Conceicao letting go of his hands tonight. Good body shots by Conceicao now, but last round shows a 19-7 connect advantage for Shakur in the second. Hard right hook to the body off the clinch for Shakur. All right. Conceicao falling short with a good straight left hand by Shakur as he made Conceicao walk into that one. But Conceicao landing a left hook as he eats the straight left. And that's what I mean. These guys are timing each other at the same time at times with single shots. Hard left hand to the body by Shakur. Conceicao felt like that one was borderline. But Shakur digging with that left hand to the body right now. He's stepping in with it off the jab. Another left hand to the body for Shakur. Lands the jab, shoots a straight left, and gets his head off the center to get out of the way of a straight right from Conceicao. Try to return fire. Beautiful sequence there for Stevenson. Oh, both fighters landing again. Left hook landed for Conceicao, but a left uppercut was harder by Stevenson. But like I said, they're timing each other with some of these single shots at the same time. Hard left hand to the body by Stevenson. Conceicao trying to return fire, but Stevenson tags him with a straight left as Conceicao try to dig back to the body. Conceicao digging with a left hook to the body and a straight right up top, but Stevenson making him miss the right hand up top. Stevenson has worn some shots this round, though. Ooh, but Stevenson staying in the kitchen, not backing up, not on his bike tonight. He's coming forward, being very aggressive here in the third round. Another left hand to the body makes Conceicao motion to the ref. And the ref, it gives a half-hearted warning to Stevenson. Conceicao short with a left hook, but Stevenson fighting in a more aggressive style tonight. Just walking forward now this round, wearing the shot, straight left to the body, rolling some of the shots, coming forward kind of. Oh, Conceicao partially landing that right hand. Stevenson getting the left hand up off the shoulder roll. But it wore it a little bit. Left hand to the body lands for Conceicao, but he eats a jab. Paying up top for investing to the body. Straight left hand lands for Stevenson again as Conceicao landed a body shot. Stevenson trading the headshot for the body shot there. Wise exchange. Good third round for Stevenson here. He's walking Conceicao down and digging. And Conceicao's getting off and you know, firing back. With good pressure by Stevenson. Hard straight left hand to the body. Conceicao is not liking those left hands to the body. And that's a wrap in the third. 3-0 Shakur Stevenson. One of the most aggressively fought rounds I've seen from Shakur there in the third. Just walking forward. Almost starting to look like he has no respect for Conceicao's power. And digging. Looking like he wants a stoppage. Let's see. Robson looks like he's getting tired though. Well, those body shots will help. Good job, man. Hello from Nicaragua. Thank you, brother. Fila Conceicao is winning this fight. I don't think. Yeah, 3-0 Shakur. First round was competitive. Second round, I thought Shakur with some of those hard left hands took the round. And then last round, same thing. Shakur stepping to Conceicao and starting to really dig and starting to show little respect for what's coming back. Seeing Shakur get touched up maybe a little bit more often than I'm used to, but digging in hard to the body tonight in a way that maybe we haven't quite seen before. And fighting on the front foot. Shakur not really taking any steps back these last 4 or 5 minutes. Here we are in the fourth round. Getting started. And Shakur on the front foot. Center ring. Both guys staying toe-to-toe here. Ooh, Conceicao stepping in with a wild right hand with some steam on it, but Shakur got away from it. Shakur staying in short in the phone booth and throws a nice 6-inch straight left hand that landed on the inside that lifted Conceicao's head up. Now Conceicao banging around with a right hand to the body. But that was a beautiful short shot by Shakur. Conceicao landing a right hand a little bit as Shakur tried to roll it. Shakur rolling most of the steam off of it, but that straight right got in a little bit. But Shakur is walking Conceicao down right now. Shakur not really concerned about what's coming back. Digs to the body with Conceicao on the ropes. Conceicao covering up, looking a little uncomfortable. Gets his body off the ropes. Shakur trying to counter. Inviting Conceicao to fire off. Conceicao not placing punches. Shakur is placing a shot. Another left hand to the body by Shakur. 1-2 for Shakur. Conceicao getting walked down right now. Shakur trying to roll and come back with a left hand. And down goes Conceicao, but not a knockdown. Ref ruled that a slip. Halfway through the fourth. Shakur dogging it out right now in terms of just fighting on that front foot, digging to the body, stepping in with a double jab, and Conceicao looking uncomfortable in the ring, like the pressure is getting to him. Pressure bust pipes. Would love to keep seeing Shakur invest to that body. Shakur stepping in beautifully off the jab to get in range for that. A good right hand to the body by Conceicao, but Shakur slips the left hook. Shakur just staying on that front foot. Slips, comes back, but Conceicao wisely getting his head off the line and ties up Shakur and got away from the body shot too. Less than a minute left in the fourth. Shakur smiling. Lead right hook almost lands for Shakur, staying on the front foot. Conceicao near the ropes, digging with 2 left hands to the body does Shakur. Good jab, and then a hook off the jab for Shakur lands in the center of the ring. Oh, Shakur punching when Robson is punching, trying to time Robson with some big shots. They were timing each other, but as Robson's stamina, goes down, Stevenson will be able to time him better and better. Robson, body language not looking good here in the fourth. Oh, good left hand lands for Shakur, and he slips the counter coming back from Robson. Robson with good timing, but not as accurate as Stevenson. And not as defensively sophisticated as Stevenson, but a good fighter. Ref calls a knockdown on Robson Conceicao. Weird. Looked like it was an inside body shot, and Shakur has the crowd going in Newark now as he drops Robson Conceicao to end this fourth round, 40-35. Conceicao, perspirating, looking down in the corner now, looking uncomfortable. He hasn't liked the pressure from Stevenson these last 2 rounds. Let's see. Thank you, Elite Boxing. Shakur beats Loma and Haney. The outboxing Tank too. We can't fight Tank like this. This is not the style in which you'd see Shakur Stevenson fight Tank. You'd see Shakur fight in the manner of which he fought Valdez. Tonight, Shakur does not have the respect for Conceicao, near the respect for Conceicao that he did for Valdez, who kept him on his P's and Q's and kept him boxing. Tonight, Shakur is on the front foot and digging hard with single left hands to the body. And wants a stoppage. Very clear he wants a stoppage. He dropped Conceicao to end the fourth. Here we go into the fifth. Yep, it was a left hand to the body. That was the knockdown. Properly ruled a knockdown by the referee. Good call. Short left hand to the body. Got in, and that's been the shot all night for Stevenson. Has been a digging left hand to the body, oftentimes stepping in off the jab to land it. Straight left to the body lands for Stevenson. Just now, good left hook for Robson Conceicao. He set it up with a right hand to the body, and then he tees off with a combination, and Shakur, licks his tongue around, but he ate 3 or 4 shots there. Good combination for Robson Conceicao. ESPN has this fight a sweep through 4 for Stevenson. I have it the same way, but he has eaten some shots tonight. Left hand that Conceicao didn't see coming, lifted the chin up. It didn't quite land clean. Some of his chest smothered it and his glove smothered it, but he didn't see that left hand coming. Stevenson making Conceicao fall short to the body. He slips underneath the left hook from Conceicao and is stepping towards him. Conceicao trying to shoot a right uppercut and walk Stevenson into something. Stevenson digging with that left hand to the body after catching 3 or 4 shots off the shoulder roll in the center of the ring. Now he's staying on the front foot, staying on top of Conceicao. Conceicao trying to catch and shoot Stevenson's jab with a big left hook, and then he clinches Stevenson. Stevenson staying on the front foot after the clinch. Hard right hook to the body for Stevenson off the 1-2 to the head. Conceicao had to eat the right hook to the body for getting his hands up. Left uppercut lands for Stevenson, but he eats the left hook after landing it. Halfway through the fifth. Conceicao's left eye swelling a little bit. Shakur backing him into the ropes off the jab. Shakur, range finding. Digs with a left to the body. Conceicao trying to counter up top to the head. Shakur slipping the right hand and falls into a clinch again. A lot of clinching by Robson Conceicao. He does not want to fight on the inside with Shakur, who is digging in beautiful short shots with the left hand and with a beautiful right hook to the body a moment ago too. Good right hand to the body by Robson Conceicao, but Shakur not concerned. Digs with a left to the body and finishes with a right hook up top. Counter straight left hand by Shakur. Caught the body shot on the elbow and fired that straight left hand. Shakur busting up Conceicao a little bit here. Conceicao still firing back. Shakur better defensively and the harder puncher. Ooh, hard left hand of the body for Shakur. And Conceicao, good timing by Conceicao on some of these counters, but Shakur making a miss by just an inch, or when it does land, takes it no problem. Shakur showing a good chin and a hard right hand of the body for Conceicao, but not with the power that Shakur has tonight. Shakur parrying off a 1-2, steps in, eats actually a left hand, but lands a right hook. 5 seconds left. Oh, big sweeping left hand for Shakur, but 5 seconds left. And that's it for the round. They bump into each other before they go back to their corners. 5-0 Shakur. Shakur fun to watch right now. Hasn't taken a step back in about 10 minutes of fighting. Dig into the body. This is fun to watch right now for Shakur Stevenson. You know, getting touched up a little bit more than he probably would need to if he wanted to box a perfect fight and win every round. But he wants a stoppage tonight, and it's fun to watch right now. Incognito Joe saying Robson telegraphing his punches. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's why Stevenson sees a lot of it coming. But I feel more of it is he's not setting traps. You know, he's just letting shots go. He's just being busy and doing, you know, wise fundamental setups. You know, guys hard to hit, keep going to the body, shoot the jab to the body, then come up top. You know, he's doing things like that, but he's not able to set traps for Shakur. You know, that kind of thing. He's not able to walk Shakur into anything, and he's not a relentless pressure fighter. So, you know, just what he's doing isn't working. You know, levels to it for Shakur Stevenson and his defense. 30-3 connect advantage for Shakur Stevenson to the body tonight by CompuBox. That's 30 body shots, all of them hard for Shakur and only 3 for Robson. Shakur doing a beautiful job of making them fall short to the body or hit elbows. I think Robson's landed more than 3 body shots, though. CompuBox is often off by a little bit at least, but Shakur is definitely well in control here in the 6th. Good straight left to the body by Shakur. Robson again landing on the gloves, landing on the elbows when he shoots his right hands to the body, letting his hands go in combination, but Shakur with good defense, rolling his shoulders. Oh, hard 2 or 3 body shots for Shakur. He slips what's coming back up top, and they're back in the center of the ring now with Shakur on the front foot. Shakur eats a right hand to the body, no problem. You're kind of seeing Shakur walk towards guys like with little respect like Floyd did Conor McGregor, although he's not just simply putting his hands forward and walking forward like Floyd did there, but still that lack of respect for what's coming back right now. And actually, he's walking forward behind the shoulder roll like you would see Adrian Broner do at his peak years at lightweight a little bit. Kind of in that stance. Shakur walking Robson down, landing some hard straight left to the body. Now digging to the body in the clinch. That one was a little low. And the ref telling him that's 2 warnings now. And the next one I will take a point away. Shakur catching that right hand on the gloves. Conceicao trying to loop it over the top off the jab. But Shakur parrying it good with his left hand. Oh, sweeping left hand lands hard on the chin for Shakur on the outside. Conceicao took it. That shot turned his chin around. Oh, another same shot lands again, and Conceicao returning fire, but missing all 3 or 4 shots. Shakur sitting on that shot like he wants it to be a one-punch knockout. That was 2 hard sweeping left hands by Shakur Stevenson here in the 6th. Another straight left hand lands for Shakur. Robson able to land his own right hand that time. Now Shakur backs him up with a combination on the ropes. Now Robson spins out to the center of the ring after eating some punishment on the ropes there. Robson getting back near to the ropes again. Oh, sweeping left hand lands again for Shakur. That's 3 times this round that shot has landed on the money. And Robson looks a little hurt that time and buzzed from it. About 10 seconds left in the 6th. Shakur following it up. Conceicao on the ropes. Shakur digs with the left hand to the body. Conceicao smiling. Just wants to get out of the round. Hard right hook lands for Shakur. And Conceicao smiles back to the ropes. Gets out of the 6th round. But that sweeping left hand, what a shot. Landed 3 times in the last minute there. On the outside, that's so hard to do, to perfectly time at long range and sweep a shot around to where it lands right on the guard, and Conceicao with good timing right upon getting hit with it comes back with 3 or 4 fast shots, but misses all of them. Yeah, good stuff for Shakur Stevenson. And we're now about to be into the second half of the fight, heading into the 7th. Here's a replay. Again, a sweeping left hand. Beautiful shot. A shot you got to see on a replay where Shakur almost sells a feint with the lead hand. And then he shoots it like you don't know if the left's about to come to the body or if it's going to come down the pipe up top. But no, it sweeps around up top. Conceicao, no answer for it. Timed up, lined up for it perfectly. Great single shot. Usually when you think of a pop shot, it's not always hard. But those were 3, hard pop shots with, knockout written on them for Shakur. He's just not a one-punch knockout artist, but he threw it correctly, the way you're supposed to throw a one-punch knockout shot. Here we are in the 7th now. Shakur with good defense, not letting Conceicao touch him up as much now these last 2 rounds or so. Oh, straight left hand lands for Shakur. And the CompuBox numbers for Shakur are tremendous tonight. 103 landed to just 36 for Robson Conceicao. The last 3 rounds, a combined 62-15 connect advantage for Shakur. Oh, another straight left hand to the body for Shakur, and he takes that little step out with his back foot to get out of the way of what's coming back beautifully. Jab up top, straight left hand to the body lands for Shakur. Robson letting go of his hands, but Shakur just rolling the shots off the shoulder roll beautifully, and then staying in the pocket, not using his feet to get out of range, not using his feet really for defense much at all, just taking little half steps out at times out of range, but for the most part, he's just staying in the kitchen and rolling the shots off the shoulder roll in the front foot. Just fighting a really nice aggressive fight tonight is Shakur Stevenson. Not an active puncher, not a big combination puncher either, but sitting down on almost every shot and placing every shot beautifully when he does open up. Conceicao firing off, stepping over, but not able to land. Conceicao tired, gets shoved to the ground a little bit there. Little over a minute in the 7th. Shakur has landed some hard left hands to the body this round, but let's see if he finishes this round strong. 1-2 for Shakur. Conceicao catching it on the gloves. Now Conceicao catches a right hook on the gloves. Good jab and left hand by Shakur. Little short, sweeping kind of left hand. Shakur not using the straight left too much tonight. He's sweeping it around in different types of angles to land it, and sometimes landing it on short mid-range, which you don't see often. Very beautiful. 1, 2, 3 for Shakur. Beautiful combination. Jab, straight left, then right hook, and then he shoots off a little body shot too. Conceicao just getting the hands up and has to eat it. Conceicao shooting off some shots, but Shakur with good defense, a better high guard. Shakur staying on top of Conceicao, get him to the ropes, touching up top with the jab, and lands a hard left to the body, and then lands a right hook up top after landing that left to the body. Conceicao retreating. Hard left again to the body. Conceicao's body language not liking it, but his pride is keeping him up. Yep, I agree with the announcers on ESPN. Conceicao getting broken down and beaten down. Not really in this fight, and not looking like he's going to be able to turn around this fight. But his pride is keeping him up. He's starting to take a good lashing, a beating a little bit. And I think the corner is starting to maybe look on a little bit concerned. Yeah, and the doctor looks at Conceicao. Conceicao sincerely telling the doctor, no, let me keep fighting. No quitting, Robson. You can see his body language. He's getting broken down physically. But this looks to be a prideful fighter, a prideful guy who had some heated exchange with Shakur at the presser and at the weigh-in, and he doesn't want to let this kid just back his words up without going down without everything he's got. And Conceicao holding up to a lot of body work. He might be pissing blood tomorrow because he's taken a brutal beating to the body. And Stevenson expecting that to pay dividends as we continue in getting closer and closer to these championship rounds into the 8th now. Go. 39% connect percentage for Stevenson and just 13% for Conceicao. Stevenson, one of the CompuBox marvels in the sport, puts up big numbers. Shakur staying on the front foot, double jab, swipes with the left hand to the body. Beautiful, with power on it. That's been the shot all night. That's the shot he's like, stepping in off his jab and then digging to the body with the left hand, kind of stepping off on an angle when he shoots it too, so that he's already in position to get away from what's coming back. Shakur bending his body down to his left, getting his head down low to get off of the line of the straight rights. Other times he's just rolling it. Other times he's parrying it with the left, doing a lot of different things defensively without really needing to use his legs tonight, without needing to circle around and use his legs to get out of range. Defending in the pocket tonight beautifully more times than not. Although Conceicao's touched him up here and there, but Shakur is fighting in a more aggressive manner than he usually does and is receiving more punches than he normally would because of that. But it's being offset and being a good – although as I'm talking right now, Conceicao's getting off with combinations, and Shakur is smiling and rubbing some of the steam off of it, rolling some of the steam off of it, but Conceicao getting off with some nice sequences there. Oh, good right hand by Conceicao. Best shot of the night. Landed for Conceicao. That right hand got Shakur's attention maybe just a little bit. That was the best, but now Shakur might be pissed and want to return fire, but Shakur sitting back, coasting a little bit on playing defense and letting Conceicao fire off, and eventually Conceicao placed one. That was a good right hand. Shakur's fine, not in trouble by any means. Still on the front foot now. Oh, Conceicao kind of uncoordinated, had his back to Shakur for a second, and Shakur hit him almost in the back of the head. Now 2 body shots with Conceicao along the ropes land for Shakur. Shakur trying to land a short right hook on the inside. Conceicao tying up. Conceicao ahead for the first time in a round on my card. About 40 seconds left. Shakur landing a jab, shoots the left to the body off of it. Getting out of the way of the straight right. Dipping down beautifully to his left. Oh, another left hand to the body and a right hook lands for Shakur off the left hand of the body. But Conceicao took that shot well. Showing good chin there. Conceicao hitting nothing but gloves on a 1-2 to the body and another 1-2 to the body. 10 seconds left. Shakur, straight left, right hook. Conceicao getting his hands up, but some of the shot getting through. 1-2 with some of the shot getting through. Hard right hook to the body. Conceicao returns fire with the right hand up top. Conceicao's best round. If you're looking for a round to give him, that was it. He landed by far his best punch of the fight. A right hand that momentarily got a little bit of Shakur's attention, but still a round where Shakur was the boss. But Shakur did coast a little bit midway through the round, let Conceicao fire off combinations, let Conceicao land a right hand. So if you're looking for a round, it was the 8th so far for Conceicao, but I'd have zero issue with you still giving it to Shakur. So Shakur's still in complete control of this fight. Let's see here. Jason Oliveras. I see this going the distance. Jason again reiterating definitely 12 rounds. Maybe. Shakur still got 4 rounds to play with here. But I know what you mean. Despite Shakur landing hard shots and sitting down on some hard shots, he's just not a puncher. And so maybe we're headed for 12 no matter how many times he lands. But we'll see. Shakur, we're here in the 9th. And let's see if Stevenson, he's invested a lot in the bank. He's put a lot of money in the body bank. Or water in the basement, as Teddy Atlas says. So let's see if he can get him out of here with 4 rounds left. He's got the fight 1 on the cards. He just landed a nice counter left uppercut as Robson shooting off 1-2s from the distance. Walked him into a left uppercut, but Conceicao took the shot well, and it's not deterring him. He still firing off 1-2s, firing off another straight right to the body, but Shakur is good defensively, and the shot's not really getting in. Oh, good right hand to the body for Conceicao. CompuBox has Conceicao only landing 4 body shots, and I think that's a bit much. He's good combination for Conceicao. Shakur rolling the shots to the body and the head, but Still good activity by Conceicao. Conceicao being active here in the ninth, and Shakur just staying on top of him, looking to place shots. Shakur shooting a 1-2. Conceicao with the guard up. Conceicao falling short with the right hand like he has so much tonight. Shakur getting rough in the clinch, and he kind of shoves him off. Referee calls time. Will the ref deduct a point? He might here. Yep, he takes a point away from Shakur for roughhousing. Shakur throwing Conceicao. Shakur's throwing some borderline left hands that he's gotten warned for, so not a terrible point deduction. Shakur got to stay focused here and stay trying to finish the task at hand and close the show at home. He's got the fight won on the cards, but if he really wants to send this crowd home happy, finish the job. You broke him down to the body in the first half. Now, maybe put some combinations together. That's something Shakur Stevenson just doesn't really do. He's a single shot, 2 or 3 at the most shot kind of guy. He doesn't put combinations together. And he might need to do that to get this guy out of here because this guy's holding up to the 1 or 2 shots at a time. Minute left in the ninth. Conceicao, competitive this round, active, not accurate, but active. Shakur not as active. Oh, good left hand for Shakur off the jab. Swept it like he has so many times. Conceicao moving back as he got hit with it. Took some of the steam off of it, but still got hit with it. .30 seconds left in the ninth. Straight left for Shakur lands, but a right hand to the body for Conceicao. Shakur kind of catch and shoot on that one. Now a left hand landed for Conceicao. Conceicao having not a terrible round in the ninth. Shakur not as dominant in the 8th and the 9th as he was in the rounds preceding. Looks maybe a little thrown off by Conceicao still being upright. I think those 3 hard sweeping left hands he landed in the 7th that I called in the final minute, he landed the best shot he could have hoped to have landed. He landed it 3 times, and now with Conceicao taking it, maybe that threw him off a little bit. Then he gets a point deducted, and now he looks a little less in rhythm than he did in the 7th round. Still, well in control of this fight. And we'll see what we get in the 10th. But, Jason Oliveras in the chat looking like he's going to be right, that we will get there to the distance. Does Shakur seem tired? No, Jesus Beltran. I think I just touched on why 8th and 9th weren't as dominant. It's not a fatigue thing. I think you think you're breaking this guy down. You've invested so much to the body. You dropped him to the body. So then in the 7th, you tee off and you land your 3 best shots you can. You sweep and you sit down on 3 left hands, and the guy takes all 3 of them. So then maybe that makes Shakur start thinking distance after all. And, that things like that can throw off a rhythm. Then he gets a point deducted. And so let's see if he can reestablish that really good rhythm he was in 5 and 6 and 7 back here in the 10th. Here we are in the 10th. Conceicao teeing off with combinations, but Shakur keeping that chin tucked behind the shoulder and gets away from it. Places a hard left hand just before the ref breaks him apart in the clinch. Shakur trying to time Conceicao in between his punches with 1 or 2 shots, but I'd love to see Shakur try to open up with some combinations at some point in his career. Straight left lands for Shakur. Making Conceicao is firing, throwing a lot of 1-2s to the body and just falling short or hitting elbows or hitting Shakur's glove. Now he shoots a straight right up top and Shakur catches it. Shakur landing a little short right hook after Conceicao missed that straight right. Conceicao getting his right hand up to partially block a sweeping left hand from Shakur, but a part of it got in there in the center of the ring. Shakur staying on top of Conceicao. And right there, he made Conceicao fall into a left hand, and then he followed it up with a right hook. And you just kind of like to see Shakur rip there. Just rip, like Errol Spence does sometimes, like Terrence Crawford, like Sean Porter. Rip on the inside there. Once you have positioning, don't let go of just 1 or 2. I know Shakur likes to let go of 1 or 2 or 3 at the most, and then be prepared for what's coming back. But sometimes you want to see him when he knows his positioning so well that, make it count with combinations at times, especially as you wear the guy down. But Shakur, not doing that. Over 10,000 people there tonight. Little minute over left in the 10th. Shakur winning this round, very sharp defensively, staying on the front foot, but just placing 1 and 2 single shots. And Robson, the gold medalist, is responsible defensively, and he's partially blocking a lot of these shots in the 10th. Oh, good short left hand by Shakur as Robson trying to shoot that right hand, but Shakur keeping it tight inside of that looping right hand and landed a short left hand inside of it. Now a right hook for Shakur lands. But he throws Robson to the canvas again. He's already had a point deducted for that. And the ref tells him again, I'm telling you, no more of that. This is stupid. You're winning the fight. Yeah. That was a good right hook just before that throw by Shakur. Robson getting Shakur on the ropes for one of the first times tonight, but falls short and lands on the chest with a right hand, and Shakur trying to walk him into a straight left off the ropes. Shakur just off with a check right hook. The one that dropped Valdez, and that's it for the 10th. Shakur winning that round. But like I said, Conceicao did walk into a couple of short counters. So just a 10th round win for Shakur, but showing some signs of frustration, not getting this guy out. He wants to get him out of there in front of the hometown. And he's thinking, it looks to me, he's thinking to himself, I'm not getting this guy out of there because the motherfucker's standing up to my best shots. But he's standing up to your best shot or two. What if you rain down on him with some combination punching? That doesn't, just a nitpick, which is something you do when you hold the best fighters to the highest of expectations. But Shakur has been dominant tonight. 2 rounds away from a very lopsided win. He did drop Conceicao in the 4th. So here we go, heading into the 11th now. Just checking the chat for a second here. With Shakur moving up, is Valdez or Richelt the favorite to win the titles back? Yeah, I think Valdez, should he fight Navarrete for the vacant WBO, will win that fight. But here we go into the 11th round now. Shakur just kind of letting Conceicao shoot off his shots, staying in front of him. Nice counter left hand by Shakur. Conceicao shooting off combinations after eating that counter left hand, and Shakur smiling because he made him miss everything after it. Shakur kind of that last left hand counter was almost like a half straight left, half uppercut from Shakur. Left uppercut placed beautifully. Conceicao walked right into that one, picked his head right up. So that answers whether it was a straight or an uppercut. Shakur landing another left uppercut there. Shakur touching off the jab and trying to sweep the left hand. Conceicao extending his arms and stepping out of range. Both fighters staying in front of each other, center of the ring. Shakur wants to land that counter left, wants Conceicao to keep firing off. 2 straight lefts for Shakur. Shakur making that look easy, but it is not easy to double up on the backhand like that down the pipe twice. Oh, Shakur, as Conceicao tried to just touch with the right hand of the body. Shakur timed him perfectly with a left hand counter up top. Shakur landing some hard left hands in the first half of the 11th. Another left hand lands for Shakur, and Conceicao's head is getting rocked by these left hands in the 11th. Maybe a stoppage not out of play just yet. A little over a minute left in the 11th. Shakur landing hard this round. Some of his best left hands of the fight have landed here. Some hard left uppercuts. Minute left now in the 11th. Shakur sitting down on the left-hand counters. Conceicao brave, but not too brave to where he's reckless. He's not just going to give him that then. Shakur with a check right hook knocks Conceicao halfway across the ring. Conceicao's legs not looking good this round. Crowd cheering. They feel like Shakur can move in for the kill. Come on. A little over 30 seconds left. Shakur still just one punch at a time, though. Then he shoots a 1-2. 30 seconds left in the 11th. Shakur in the high guard now. Staying in front, staying at range. Not stepping in, but staying at range. Then he takes a small step back to make Conceicao miss. Steps back in, shoots the left hand to the body. Let's see, 4, 5, and 6, Shakur. That's just not. Shakur with Conceicao on the ropes, swing, and just misses with the right hook. We're headed into the 12th. Shakur with some of his best left hands there in the 11th round. And working on a sweep. You know, maybe Conceicao won the 8th. The 9th probably scored even because of the point deduction. But I think it's been a sweep for Shakur Stevenson. Although Conceicao has touched him up at times because Stevenson's been fighting on that front foot, not really wary of anything coming back. He's been touched with some shots, but been very dominant at the same time for much of the night. What's up, chat? All right, heading into this 12th and final round. He should fight Cruz. That would be a good fight. Cruz's pressure and activity against Shakur Stevenson, that's a good fight. Not going to happen because of, networks and whatnot, but it is a good fight. A little bit of swelling around Shakur's right eye tonight. And, in the center of his head, maybe a headbutt, gives him some nasty swelling in the middle of his 2 eyebrows, right here in the center forehead. But that had to have been from a headbutt. But Shakur hasn't really been the master boxer tonight. He's had good defense for much of the night, although he's been touched up too, but he's been aggressive tonight. All right. A little over 30 seconds into this final round. And Shakur is still really, just staying on top of Conceicao, staying in range, staying on the front foot, and just trying to sit down on a counter. Trying to sit down on timing Robson with a hard shot as he punches when Robson punches. Counter punching. Yeah, Andre Ward complimenting the legs of Shakur. Not a bicycle motion tonight, not up on the bike, not, showing off the spring in the legs, but just great positioning all night. Subtle, effective positioning like he's often known for, Shakur Stevenson. But not letting his hands go a lot here in the 12th. Like I said, he's setting traps more, trying to time Conceicao. Now he steps forward with a 4-punch combination and lands a straight left to the body. Stevenson dropping his hands, coming forward. Tries to sweep the left hand, but Conceicao makes him fall short halfway through the round now. Looks like we are headed the distance. Stevenson with that left hand to the body again. Off the jab up top to set it up. Pivots out of the way. A little over a minute now. Stevenson, high guard, stays in front, bangs a right hook onto Conceicao's high guard, and then he lets go of a combination on Conceicao's guard, straight left, and then Conceicao ties up with exactly a minute left in the final round. Been a pretty dominant performance for Shakur Stevenson. Now Stevenson letting go of a 1-2-3 along the ropes, then a left uppercut, right hook with Conceicao along the ropes. Conceicao coming back with a right hand, and then he clinches. Stevenson with his head out of the ring for a moment, and Conceicao waves him back in. Doesn't throw punches with Stevenson compromised there. 30 seconds left, and Stevenson goes down, but it was an off-balance shot. No knockdown ruled. We got 20 seconds left, chat, and this looks like it's going to be a shutout for Shakur Stevenson to go along with a 4th-round knockdown. Straight left lands for Stevenson. Not an impressive final round for Stevenson, but he wins it. Ooh, Stevenson finishing off with another left-hand right hook there. Right hook missed, but straight left got in a little bit. Conceicao lets his hands go in combination, but good defense by Stevenson. Stevenson finishing this fight, throwing some lefts to the body, and that does it. 12-zip, maybe 11-1. Shakur Stevenson, maybe 10-2, maybe. But I'm fine with anything from 10-2 to 12-zip. I think it was 12-zip. Gets the knockdown in the 4th. Body didn't have the muscular definition. You could, treated it a little bit like a homecoming fight, but fought a different Shakur than we usually see. You know, was really on the front foot tonight. Although he fought that way against Jamel Herring too. Was a little sharper against Jamel Herring than he was tonight, but gets the job done. Dominant win over Robson Conceicao. Wasn't able to get the stoppage, but good body attack throughout the night, especially in the first 7 or so rounds. He killed throughout. He really the best shot of the night, and of course that's what the knockdown came on, was his left hands to the body. Great timing on some of the counters. Got touched more than we're used to seeing him because he wasn't really worried about what was coming back. Kind of fought with the shoulder roll going forward, like you saw guys like Adrian Broner do at times, or James Toney do at times. Was effective with that. But fought on the front foot tonight. Good body attack. I think a good solid B plus performance for Shakur Stevenson. An A would have been a stoppage, but a good solid B outing. I don't think anything that puts fear in Devin Haney or Tank Davis's heart. I do think though that from what I saw tonight, him and Lomachenko could be a fun stylistic fight because they shoot off a lot of their punches at the same range. They like to get off at mid to close range, and that's where Shakur likes to get off too. Shakur, that'd be a very interesting chess match, and I don't think it'd be a boring one. You wouldn't get Morales Barrera, but that'd be a fun fight. That'd be a very interesting chess. You'd get a better fight between Lomachenko and Shakur, I think, than you got with Teofimo and Loma that night. I think you get a better fight between those two, and potentially more entertaining fight than Haney and Lomachenko, because with Haney there's a chance Haney's length and his feet and his youth turn it into a little bit like the Kambosos fight where he just keeps it on the outside behind the jab. But Shakur, he likes to shoot off some of those short, mid, and inside range shots like Loma does. So they like to work at some of the same angles. So that'd be fun to watch maybe. But yeah, just awaiting the official verdict. No question that Shakur's got this in the bag. What's your thoughts on Teofimo Lopez? I think Teofimo's still a spectacular talent. Still super fun to watch. Flashy in his counter punching and in his reflexes against Pedro Campa. After the second or third round, when he got in his rhythm, that was really fun to watch. Those counter uppercuts with the flashy reflexes off of them. And Teofimo brings a lot of spice to 140. And I'm still looking forward to everything he got. And I don't count him out of becoming the man at 140. He's so very talented. He's not the biggest guy at 140, and Campa took his power better than lightweights were able to. But with all that talent and flair, I love watching him fight at 140. I get the hunch he could put it together against Josh Taylor and pull off what some would think is an upset. I think he could beat Josh Taylor, but we'll see. Here comes the final verdict. Party people. Just waiting this verdict now. Did you guys enjoy tonight, the round by round? I hope everyone enjoyed the chat. Here we go. Zerto Ramirez versus Bivol. Who wins? I'll get right to that after the decision. $117-109. 118-108. And 117-109. So 2 cards of 11-1 and 1 card of 12-0, but the point deductions gave Stevenson a 118 card instead of the 120. Or I might be wrong. It may have been 2 cards of 11-1 and 1 card of 10-2 with the point deduction. Anyway, dominant win next, and Stevenson's next fight will probably be against the top 10-ish lightweight, as Lomachenko will take on Jermaine Ortiz. Haney fights Kambosos. I think Top Rank will go the Haney-Lomachenko direction. You never know, though. Haney might come after the Kambosos rematch and say, I can't make this fucking weight anymore. And then Stevenson gets Lomachenko instead. You never know. But I think that's my hunch, that Haney will get Loma, And Stevenson will be getting his feet wet next time out at lightweight against a top 10 type of guy. So we'll see what happens. But I had someone. Well, let's hear what Shakur has to say real quick, and then Zerto and Bevo. I got you. Yeah, it was over 10,000 fans tonight. Shakur landed a career high 199 punches tonight. He was super accurate. His connect, yeah. He was more accurate to the body than the heads. You know, no, he was accurate tonight. Period. Just waiting to see what he gets next. Let's hear it because he was supposed to have the announcement, although obviously it was that he's going to go to lightweight. Landed a career high 75 body shots tonight too. That's definitely a great body attack. Shakur said tonight it was him against Conceicao and the ref, and that he showed 135. He's a dominant fighter tonight. Shakur saying that he was doing a lot of holding, and that's part of why he was able to make it 12. And he said he's also awkward. Bernardo, please ask him what's next. Give a shout out to Newark, to Brick City. Shakur with a little bit of swelling around that right eye, a little bit of a black eye tonight, and again, some bad swelling in the middle part of his forehead. That had to be from a headbutt, so he's wearing some bruises tonight, but nothing too serious. He wanted to fight. He says he didn't want to beat him up. And again, Shakur frustrated with all the holding tonight. Conceicao did hold a lot. Maybe should have been warned at some point. He was not interested in fighting phone booth range like with Valdez. No, doesn't fight on the inside. Shakur giving a shout out to the Puerto Rican fans with the Puerto Rican flag behind them as well. Everybody at 135 got to get it, he says. Everybody. There's only one champ right now. He says we got to fight the champ. He says after he fights Kambosos, let's get it on. He says he likes Lomachenko too. So I guess officially a call out from Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson has said he wants to fight Devin Haney after Devin Haney's rematch with George Kambosos. He wants to fight for the titles. Shakur Stevenson has officially called out Devin Haney at lightweight. That's not a hyperbole. That's what just happened. So it's official. Shakur Stevenson is a lightweight. He has called out the lightweight champion, Devin Haney. He would like to fight him right after Devin finishes his fight with George Kambosos. So there you go. And obviously is open to the Lomachenko fight too. That would be, a hell of a chess match. And again, I said earlier, I think it'd be a better fight than some cynics would think, just because they're two terrific technical fighters, technical boxers, athletic fighters. When you go back and watch their kind of, famous sparring session on YouTube, it was a competitive, lots of punches being thrown, and Haney found more success as he stopped boxing with Shakur and came on the front foot. And he's the bigger guy. He's the bigger fighter. And he started to go to the body and walk Shakur down. Shakur was still landing sharp shots through the center. But Haney was getting off good to the body and was walking him down too. And that was a really entertaining sparring session and could be a very entertaining fight. And would be a fight between two of the most talented and skilled and athletic fighters in boxing. So Stevenson officially calls out Devin Haney, and that's good news. That's what you want to hear. So before and now I got to get back to one of you guys in the chat who asked me about Bivol and Zurdo Ramirez. Look, I favor Bivol in that fight. Although Canelo, maybe Zurdo can replicate what Canelo had success with in the first 4 when Canelo built a lead on the scorecards. Early in that fight, before it got away from Canelo, he was walking Bivol into the ropes and landing hard right uppercuts and landing some body shots and dictating to Bivol, driving him on the ropes. And that's what Zurdo's going to have to do. And Zurdo's not 5'9". He's almost 6'3". He's much bigger than Canelo. He's a bigger guy than Bivol, and maybe he can fight in the style that Canelo had success with in the first half and take it a step further with better conditioning, better stamina, and being a natural light heavyweight. But he doesn't have quite the skills that Canelo has coming forward. And Bivol has a better jab than Zurdo, and that is usually the most important punch. And so when they're at range, which is where the fight, has to be at before anyone can cut any kind of distance, in the center of the ring, Bivol has better feet than Zurdo. He has better defense than Zurdo. He's tracked as one of the best defenders in boxing by CompuBox, but he has very underrated defense. His hands are always in the right positioning, and he knows his distance with his feet, and he has a better active jab than Zurdo. He's going to out-jab Zurdo, and Zurdo's going to have his best success with Bivol on the ropes, like Canelo had success with Bivol on the ropes. And but Zurdo's not a one-punch puncher. He's not a huge puncher, so I don't think he could stop Bivol by constant pressure and by working the body in the first half and stopping him down the stretch. I don't think those moments where he scores with Bivol on the ropes are going to do enough to outset the busy jab in the center of the ring of Bivol, the better defense of Bivol. And Bivol's just better up the center, with the basics, the 1-2 and the left hook. He's just a little shorter with his shots, better with his defense. And I just think Zurdo is going to be getting tagged more often, and he will have success when he gets Bivol to the ropes, and he'll dig to the body and things like that. But I think in the center of the ring, Bivol's a better boxer than Zurdo, so I give the edge to the better boxer who just beat Canelo. I give the edge to Bivol. I don't count Zurdo out at 44-0, and some of the things he needs to do, he's capable of. He has to get this guy to the ropes. He has to get to the body. He has to be the aggressor. And Zurdo knows all of that, and he plans on all of that. But Zurdo gets touched. He gets countered. Jesse Hart hit him a lot when they fought back a couple years back. Even his last fight where he got the body shot knockout against Boissel, he walked into a few counters there. So I give the edge to Dimitri Bivol. Let's see this. What else, guys? Dude, where's my car? Absolutely. I love the Ashton Kutcher comparisons. Haney and Shakur. Anything else out of here before I get out of here? Thank you, Kai Cyber, for saying great commentary. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. What we got, guys, before we get up out of here? Tyson Fury, the greatest of all time. I don't know about all that. He's the best of this era. El Cinema. Oh, great analysis. If you have time for Michaela versus Baumgardner. Yeah, Raven Gamer says you look like Drake from Disney. I thought he was on Nickelodeon. Is Loma too small for Shakur? No, but I think he's a little too small for Haney. I think Haney's length is going to be a problem. But anyways, Michaela and Baumgardner. What fight would you want to see if you could pick two guys? I like Boots against the winner of Crawford Spence, and I still like Benavidez, Canelo, and a few others. So Mayer Baumgardner, I think I favor Mayer in that fight, although it's close to a 50-50 fight. But I think Mayer can apply intelligent pressure. I think she can adjust. She's going to eat some right hands early, but I think her and Al Mitchell will adjust. She'll get her hand up in a better spot. She'll make some adjustments defensively to catch some. If she can't, she's in trouble. But I think Michaela is bigger than her. And like Michaela said, she doesn't have the second gear in the conditioning. She hasn't shown it anyways, the work rate that Michaela has. Baumgardner likes to fight at her tempo, and I think in the second half of that fight, Mayer can pull away from her. But I just think that Mayer will she'll box in spots early on because she has a good jab and she's longer than Baumgartner, but she's gonna have to put the pressure on. And I see her making the adjustment a little bit, starting to not get caught by as many right hands, but catching it and then getting to the second and third layer of punches where Baumgartner doesn't like to work as often. Baumgartner likes to stay on the outside, has a beautiful up jab, knows her distance, and then she places her bomb, her one or two bombs. But if Mayer, as the fight goes on, starts catching those one or two bombs, does the old catch and shoot, gets her on the ropes and makes it to the second layer of punches where now you're throwing 4 or 5, 6 punches, I don't think Baumgartner will deal with that pace as well. And I think Mayer was going to come on and win a decision in a good fight where Baumgartner had the advantage early. But I wasn't going to be surprised, man, if Mayer wasn't going to be able to deal with and adjust to the athleticism and the skills of Baumgartner. Baumgartner flashes some real potential with great. She has a beautiful up jab, and she knows how to place her right hand, and she has terrific hand speed and coordination. So she's a hell of an athlete and a talent. But I think Mayer's size and experience and her work rate, her ability to adjust with Al Mitchell, she has a good jab, so she can hold her own on the outside. But then she knows how to put the pressure on. I favored Mayer in that fight, but that was a 50-50-ish fight. Let's see here. Jake Cassadine said, "Damn, bro, you got hands." Thank you, man. That was ugly. See, I should have quit while I was ahead. What do you think about Jake Paul and Silva? I don't think too much. I got to break down some tape, to be honest. But Silva with his movement, maybe Silva, the way he steps off and pivots off after he punches is something Jake hasn't seen before. Maybe he could put Jake in the blender a little bit, in terms of punching and pivoting off, punching and pivoting off, punching and pivoting off. Maybe that's an element that Jake hasn't seen before, and the old man gives him a lot of problems with that. Or maybe Jake punches as he's punching and just knocks him out and shows that a 48-year-old man shouldn't be in there getting hit by a strong young kid like that anymore after he's been knocked out several times already. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Sean, who you got, Crawford or Spence? I have Crawford, but Spence's youth worries me a little bit right now. I just when I'm around Crawford and Spence, I see more of that youthful vitality from Errol Spence. And Crawford's getting closer to middle age. He's 36, I think now, maybe, or 35. But I still just think Crawford, the counter puncher, deadly puncher. No one's went the distance with Crawford since Obama was president. That was Victor Postal in 2016. I mean, that was 6 years ago. But Crawford's a sneaky, deadly puncher, and I just think at some point he finds the range with his counters with Errol. He punches in between Errol's punches, but then Errol's jab. Errol can bury Crawford early in the fight behind the jab, build a lead, and then Crawford has to get some get back and has to climb uphill, and Errol could turn into the boxer in that fight. And once Crawford wants some get back, Errol's not just there in the high guard coming forward, walking into counters. He's fighting long off that excellent jab he has and showing us all his boxing brain. We could see a lot of ebb and flows in that fight, but in the end, I think Crawford can score a knockout late in the fight and catch Errol with the right kind of counter shots, walk him into the right kind of shots, and hurt Errol and finish the job, perhaps behind on the cards when he does it in a great fight. I give the edge to Crawford, but wouldn't be surprised to see Spence pull it off either. But I got Crawford. And what else? Navarrete should move up now and get a title. I think that's been the plan all along by Top Rank. They didn't. I don't think Top Rank really wanted to go overseas with a Joe Cordina. Certainly didn't want to call Al Heyman and make a Hector Luis Garcia unification fight. I think they want Shakur to move up to lightweight and free up that WBO belt so Navarrete and Valdez can fight in Tucson or fight in San Diego and sell that place out. And they make a good fight there. But looks like I think that's about it for tonight, guys. And unless there's anything else you want me to get to before we get out of here, Shakur versus Robeisy next. That's not a bad fight, but Robeisy's sticking around at 130. Maybe, yeah, but that's not a bad fight. Maybe at 35, maybe Robeisy says fuck it. He said fuck it. It's a good paycheck. If I lose, who cares? I move back down to 30 and get in line to fight for a title there. But he is a 130 pounder, and Shakur is done with 130. So I don't know if Robeisy's going to be an opponent. Who you got on Plant versus Durrell? I got Plant. I think that Plant's youth and legs will be a problem for Durrell. I see Durrell getting frustrated in that fight, following Caleb around the ring. But I think Durrell's carrying a lot of animosity in the ring, and he can hurt Caleb if Caleb's legs need a rest at some point in the fight. Like Caleb Truax hit Caleb with a good uppercut in their fight, got blown out in that fight, but everyone remembered Caleb Truax in the 8th or 9th round when Plant needed to take a breather, he ate an uppercut. Well, if he eats that uppercut with Anthony Durrell, that could be a scarier moment. So maybe Durrell will have it. The old man will have his opportunities here and there when the younger Plant has to slow down at certain spots of the fight. Maybe those are his opportunities, but I am expecting the youth and the boxing ability and the legs of Plant to win him that fight. Caleb, is definitely a good boxer. And I think that's about it, guys. Yeah, I think that's about it. We can call it a wrap. Thank you guys, everyone, for joining in on the chat tonight. We had a lot of fun. We always have fun with you guys. Keep it locked in. October 15th, everyone, we're going to have like a FightHype live extravaganza because Haney and Kambosos fight in the daytime, as do Shields and Marshall and Mayer and Bumgardner. And then by nighttime, we got Wilder and Hellenius on Fox pay-per-view. So we're saying fuck it, and we're going to go live basically from like 1 o'clock West Coast time all the way through to 10 or whenever Deontay Wilder's fight concludes on the East Coast. So be ready for like a marathon live. Tons of championship fights October 15th. Until then, though, keep it locked in on FightHype, everyone, and thank you for joining me as always. It's your boy Sean Sattel, and always love doing this for you guys. See you later. Peace out.